Good evening, everybody, and welcome. Welcome to SKR Season 5 Round 4 here in Mexico. Before we begin, to everyone in the comment section, please let me know. We're having a bit of trouble with YouTube tonight, and I just hope everyone can see and hear me. But for some reason, the stream not going through to certain devices, like my phone. So if you can't see me, let me know in the comment section. And if you can't hear me, well, I don't suppose this message is very useful. We are in the Autodromo Ramos Rodriguez here in Mexico City for what promises to be a very interesting evening in the latest chapter of Season 5. We have Divan leaving the pits. There we go, thanks Shane, letting me know in the comment section. It's actually just popped up on my screen as well, so it's come right just in time. Let's bring up the full track map so we can have a look at who is where. I think one of the first over the line. No one on a fast lap just yet. Everyone on an out lap. 2 cars remaining in the pits. That's Dixie Killer and Ultra Gamer. Going with a slightly different strategy. Obviously a very busy track. 16 drivers out there. First driver to start a quick lap will be this man here. Williams driver, Chums. Didn't have a great race in the USA. We'll be hoping for better things south of the border. Finished P17 on his last outing. Now on an out lap. See if he can make all the worries of last week disappear. Heading now down towards the famous stadium section. What a view it must be to have one of these seats. And there we go, onto the main straight for what will be the first time lap of the evening. It's a 1:19.0 for Chums. Second lap goes now to Afro, and look at the difference in lap time, a 1:16.2. That's the first competitive lap time of the evening. Frookie over the line, 1:17.1. Still that gap to first place, absolutely massive. We have a Ferrari rolling around the racetrack. Thought that may have been an incident. Seems like he was just getting out of the way. Top Gun looking for his first lap time as the rest of the drivers put their lap times in. Mr. M goes P2. Apmagozi over the line goes P9. Don't think that was I think he invalidated that and backed off. 29.5. Top Gun goes P5. Good evening so far for the Aston Martin's Pantry Star P4, and Top Gun demoted P6. Virus P5. Madwell, if you are still with us, let us know in the comment section if you're able to see and hear. See, you said that you weren't able to see anything earlier. After that first stint, Afro, he's going to be very comfortable with that time of 1:16.2. It's going to be very comfortable with the prospect of pole position because no one's within 8/10. Let's go further back to the drivers who don't have lap times, and this one's out on track. Andre, the second of the two McLarens, his teammate up in P11. Andre looking for his first lap time of the evening. See Andre here had a relatively good outing last week, finished P7 in the USA. Very different racetrack this one. It's going to go over the line and that's P4, 1:17.4. But still no one really challenging provisional pole, a 1:16.2, 8/10 faster than anyone else has achieved. Ulrich, he's going around slowly, he's on an outlap. Another one on an outlap is Divan. Apmagosi, I think he's on a timed lap, unless he dives into the pits, which he does not. This should be a timed lap. Does improve, but not by enough. Says P15 and 1:20.3. Van and Ulrich, both on outlaps, the two Ferrari powered cars. Currently no lap times from those drivers. Welcome to Death Queen. Well, that's a good sign. People can hear and see me. Andre on his way back into the pits after setting a lap time good enough for P4. This man here still looking for his first lap time, as is this man here. Ulrich, though, will be the first man over the line. He's just gone purple in Sector 2, so this is a lap to watch. How far up the field can he put that Alfa Romeo? He's now in the middle of Sector 2, in the middle of the S's. These S's are so important because they're followed by a straight, and if you get them wrong, just can't achieve that top speed, lose so much lap time. Then again, another important part of the racetrack, it's not only scenic, it's just so technical, is that stadium section. Get it wrong and you can throw the lap time in the bin. Ulrich over the line, P2, 1:16.8. Second driver into the 1:16s. Van will go over the line next. Good enough for P11, 1:18 flat. That's why Madwell wasn't responding to me. It's because Madwell is in the Red Bull in P13. I believe we've just had somebody join, so I think that means we may have 19 drivers at the start of the race. And he has left again. Andre going over for another lap. Doesn't improve, stays P5, 1:17.2. Was trying to improve because he was draining that ERS rather. Ricky P4, he has demoted the McLaren of Andre. Dixie Killer, still looking for that first lap time of the evening. You need that safety of that first lap time, and as the clock ticks down, the pressure builds on every single lap. No, you got to get that lap time down. You don't want to start from P18 plus here in Mexico. Turn 1, turn 2, so technical. Maybe it's a good thing to be at the back. Madwell went over the line while we were speaking. He did a 1:16.6. It's good enough for the second fastest lap of qualifying. Let's ride with Dixie Killer as he goes around the final corner. See what lap time he can come up with. It's 1:19 flat, and it's good enough for P16. One Red Bull in the pits, comfortably on pole. The other Red Bull, fantastic challenging lap, and he's on his way back to the pits. Surely we'll see another run from both those Red Bulls. Ultra Gamer has put out his Haas up into P3, Ulrich P4, Mr. Rem is in P5, Fricky out on circuit at the start of what is another fast lap. He's currently in P6, followed by Andre P7, and then his teammate Virus in P8. Two Aston Martins, both out on circuit. They're P9 and 10. Further down the order, we've got Visor. He's on an outlap in the second Alfa Romeo. Then the only representative for Ferrari tonight is Van. He's in P12, also on an outlap. Louis is on a fast lap. His second attempt of the evening, I believe. First attempt was an 18.2. And he's actually just been demoted to P14. Then we've got the two Williams of Chums and Dixie Killer in P15 and 16. And then the two Alpha Tauris of Revolution and Atmagozi. Just over, should I say, just under 6 minutes remaining in the session. So everyone, whether you're on track or not, is going to have time to have another run. A lot of drivers in the pits. Don't want to leave it too late. Don't want traffic to become a thing. So many times you can run into traffic, especially in that stadium section. Somebody slowing down for their fast lap ruins your fast lap. Really got to have track awareness and just know where the other drivers are and make sure that you get the cleanest lap possible. Don't want to go out onto a crowded track. You ride with Ulrich. There's a man in P4. Harsh Cartoon. The only Alpine. So everyone has a teammate tonight with the exception of the Alpine and Ferrari drivers. Harsh Cartoon and Divan are the only representatives in their respective teams. Two AlphaTauris will be hoping for a better result than this. Obviously after this race it's going to be the real thing, Mexican Grand Prix later on tonight. And Daniel Ricciardo out-qualified Sergio Perez in an AlphaTauri. Perez just not doing himself any favours at this stage. Ulrich, he's in P3. 1:16.7. 4 drivers now up into the 1:16s. But that time at the top still so dominant. A 1:16.2, 4/10 faster than his teammate. AlphaTauri going slowly there on the inside of the stadium section, just getting out of the way. Visor currently P12, second Alfa Romeo. He has his ERS switched on. I believe this is going to be a fast lap. Currently at the beginning of Sector 2. Such a famous racetrack on the F1 calendar. Many people think it's a new racetrack on the F1 calendar, but no, it's not. It was on the F1 calendar a long time ago, And then it went away for a really long time. And now we have this iteration of the track, which is actually quite similar to what it was. But there are some key differences to slow these cars down. Otherwise it would have been the most dangerous track on the calendar. Afmagosi retires from the session, and Pfizer, well, that was a last minute decision to jump into the pit, and he almost hit the pit wall. Dixie Killer, he's activating ERS, DRS, giving it all into turn 1. So he's also at the start of a fast lap. Afro, still no movement from your provisional pole sitter, stays in the pits with that 16.2. Obviously no need to use up any tires if that is the sort of domination you're showing. But Madwell, so close but so far. In Formula 1, in motorsport, in qualifying, so close means nothing. You can be a 10th away, you can be 1,000th away, you could be 5 seconds away. That's the difference between P1 and P2, and in this case it's 500ths of a second between the two Red Bulls. Madwell got oh so close, and with a minute and a half remaining, you have to believe that that will be his final attempt for the evening. So Afro does have the opportunity to go faster. He's on an outlap. Don't know why we have yellow flags all over the circuit. Can't see how much time is remaining in the session, but we've had that yellow flag up pretty much the entire session. But here is your provisional pole sitter, a 1:16.2. Currently on an outlap. Ulrich also on an outlap. Madwell, P2 will be his best possible position for tonight. Here we go, let's ride with Afro as he begins his final fast lap of qualifying this evening. Here we go, activates DRS, almost as if it was on automatic DRS. Not even a second, had his finger waiting. You need every single tenth you can find into turn 1. Don't want to take too much of these sausage curbs, can really destabilize the car. Then you want to get the ultimate exit onto the straight so you can make the most of your top speed. Okay, and just after the 100-meter boards on the brakes. Left, right, and then it's going to be right again. Again, just those little sausage curbs on the inside. You can take curb, but you don't want to take the sausage curb. Then the S's, probably one of the most challenging parts of the race circuit, for me at least. If you get the entry to one of these wrong, you have to play catch up for the rest of them. And there where you see the DHL signs just ahead of you, the track used to go straight on over there. And then it was met with a banked right-hand corner where it would meet the circuit over here and then back onto the straight over here. Afro over the line, does improve, puts his stamp of authority on the session, a 1:16 flat. Who else is still out on track? Frecky is out on track. Does he improve? 1:17 flat. He does improve, 1:16.7. Goes up into P4. Now, Harsh Cartoon. He's coming into the pits. And I think that is the session. So now we just await those official results. Don't know of any penalties out there. Seems like we will have 19 starters. Takeaway joined the lobby and he was able to do a lap time. He got a 1:18 flat in. So we will have 19 drivers at the start of the race. As for your official results, Afro, P1, 116 flat, his teammate Madwell, it's a Red Bull 1-2. Then we've got Ulrich P3, Fricky P4, Ultra Gamer P5, Andre P6, Pantry Star P7, Mr. Rem P8, Van in P9, and Virus making up your top 10. Then P11 we have Harsh Cartoon, P12 Top Gun, Takeaway comes in at the end there, P13, Visor P14, Chums P15, Louis 16, Dixie Killer 17, and then the two Alpha Tauris of Revolution and Nat Magozi making up the field in 18 and 19. And I got through that just in time. To everyone watching, if there's a bit of a delay, that's not your stream, don't worry about it too much. And to all the drivers who may be listening, remember, 5-minute break. There will be a 5-minute break on the grid. That is for all drivers to ultimately prepare their strategies, make their final decisions going into the race, and to have a quick smoke break. Or whatever else it is they need to do. Good luck to Madwell as well, also in the comment section in the race. Got a keyboard in the cockpit. Always nice to see guys that are contributing to the league in both ways. They're contributing to the stream, they're contributing to the grid. And quality driving all at the same time. P2 just 2/10 of a second off of pole position. While these guys take a 5-minute break, I'm going to take a quick short break of my own. The time now is 8:29. The race will begin at 8:33. I'll be back in just a minute. Okay, and we're back. Obviously now we just await the race start. Race should begin in 3 minutes from now. Obviously we're at the Mexican Grand Prix. Max Verstappen has won the last 4 Mexican Grand Prix. And his pole position lap last year around here was a 1:17.7. Mexican Grand Prix in the 80s and 90s, for the most part, was round 2 of the season. And just before it, round 1 of the season, Kyalami. See, South Africa was on the calendar from the early 60s till the mid 80s. when some political tension had the Grand Prix cancelled for 7 years. Upon returning in the early 90s, only 2 Grand Prix were held before track owners went bankrupt, and the 1994 South African Grand Prix never happened. Track with a iconic layout, completely rebuilt for 2 Grand Prix. Not quite sure. We're looking at a crowd here in front of us, and I see 2 groups of people flying the European Union flag. I'm not quite sure I've ever seen anyone at a sporting event flying the flag of the European Union. That could just cover so many drivers. We will be underway in probably under a minute. Is now 8:33, the confirmed race start. So we expect to get underway any second now. Bit of a stressful start to this stream, but seems like everything is working. Here we go. There's your red lights. That's what we've all been waiting for, and now we wait for them to go out. Red Bull 1, 2, and they pull off in that order. Madwell has actually made up a position on his teammate. There we go. Madwell will go into turn 1 in the lead. His teammate's able to hold on to P2. Orezi, Ulrich up into P2. Afro's lost 2 positions. He's down into P4. Mercedes-Benz also trying to take advantage of it. Fricky now up into P2. Some fantastic passes here on lap 1. Fantastic movement up the field from the Mercedes driver. And Fricky makes up 2 positions right at the start of the race. Another man on the move is Louis. He's made up 3 positions at the start of the race. Make that 2, he's just lost 1. Dixie Killer Revolution at Magozi, that's 17, 18, 19. They are in the same positions they started in. Madwell leads this race, started in P2. Fricky in P2 now. Ulrich P3. And Ultra Gamer, should I say Afro rather, man who dominated qualifying, dominated pole position by over 0.2 of a second. Yes, lost 2 positions right at the start of the race. Remember, qualifying very important up to a point, but if you don't get that start right, it could all be for nothing. Madwell, Ulrich, Fricky, all making up 1 position. All those positions are at the cost of Afro. He's lost 3. Mr. Rem also on the move. He's made up 2 positions since the race start, up into P5. Pantry Star, well, he's stationary. He's exactly where he started. He's in P6, likes that position. Andre's lost 2 positions down into P7. Then Van, exactly where he started in P8. Ultra Gamer, he's made up a position. He's in P9. And Top Gun, he's made up 2 positions to get himself into the top 10. Now we just saw the strategy predictions, and they said a 2-stop or a 3-stop. I can tell you I went around this track on Friday night and did a 1-stop. So it'll be interesting to see who does what exactly. On that note, let's bring up the tires situation. Who started on what, who's planning what. We'll get a bit of an idea by looking at the tire they started on. Madwell leads the way, and that might explain his start. He started on a set of softs, different strategy from his teammate, very different strategy from his teammate, and we'll get into that shortly. Then Ulrich P2, Frickie P3, they seem to be on the same strategy. They're on a set of mediums. And then your pole sitter, currently in P4, he has stabilized that gap now. I think it just took him a while to get his tires up to temperature, because he started on a set of hards, so that does explain the poor traction off the start and why everyone was able to get a jump on him. But if he is able to minimize the gap to the cars in front of him, that hard compound is really going to come into play later on in this race. We get our first penalty of the race. It goes to Louis. It's a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting, and we're going to see many more of those because it's only lap 4 of 36. Started in P2, leads the race, set of softs, going on a very different strategy from his teammate. Wants to win this race, not happy with finishing P2 like he did in qualifying. Knew he needed to do something different from his teammate. Throw the dice, take a gamble, do something different. And Ulrich coming under pressure now from Afro, who's on the move because he has passed the Mercedes-Benz of Frickie. So now Afro up into P2 and his next target, Ulrich up the road. We have what is known as a DRS train. Pantry Star, Andre, Ultra Gamer, and all of them closely follow Mr. M. Mr. M leads a DRS train. Worst place to be in a DRS train is leading it. And now Mr. M, he has lost the position to Pantry Star, so he's falling back in that DRS train, and he had a set of softs on the car, so he'll be wanting to go forward, not wanting to go backwards, because at this point in the race, this is when you have the superior traction. This is when these tires count, and if you don't make use of them in the first 6 or 7 laps, they've already passed their absolute peak. I'm not saying they're gone and you need to pit, but they've passed their peak. This also means that Afro is in the position for the fastest lap of the race because he started on the hards. So if he finds himself at the end of the race on the softs with a light fuel tank, there's no reason why he shouldn't take fastest lap of the race. But for now, this is your leader. Madwell leads the way. And you know, I just looked at this Red Bull for a second and wow, there's some memories. There's a number 3 on that Red Bull. Not 33, just 3. It's Danny Rick in a Red Bull. On the same weekend, he outqualified Perez. Is this an omen? Could be. Madwell leads the way. Red Bull number 3 leads the Mexican Grand Prix. But importantly for him, his teammate has been able to clear the 2 cars in front of him that were stifling his way forward. He's gotten past Frickie, he's gotten past Ulrich, and now he's up into P2 and he's got clean air in front of him for the first time in this race. He's 4.8 seconds adrift from his teammate. Pantry Star, still P5, looking to make his way up the road, have an effect on these podium positions. Mr. M, P6 on those soft tyres. He's going to have to pit earlier than all these cars around him and he's going to lose track position. Andre P7, he's on the hards. So in stark comparison, he's going to be able to go much later on in the race. And all these cars around him in the DRS train are going to have to pit probably in the next few laps. I think the soft tyre around here, medium tyre around here, I think if you want to... I can't even remember what strategy I had on Friday, my apologies. I can't tell you what tyres I used. All I can tell you is that I pitted once and it was on lap 15. Take away in the Ferrari. We said there was just one representative of Ferrari, but this man joined late in qualifying, did his lap right at the last second. He's right up now into P9. Madwell still leads the way, and that gap is growing. And that's because Ulrich has come back at Afro. And while these two battle, Madwell will be counting his blessings. All he needs to do now is keep that car in a straight line, make no mistakes, do not leave the tarmac, and keep those consistent laps. While those softs are working, keep those consistent laps. His teammate up the inside now with the assistance of DRS into turn 1, retakes P2, and he'll want to get up the road from that Alfa Romeo, otherwise Ulrich's just going to come right back at him. While these two battle, if this Red Bull here can just keep his consistent laps, that there's no reason why that gap shouldn't continue to grow. Now Afro in a bit of clean air. Gap comes down just a little bit. Other battles on track. Closest battle we have on track is the two Haas drivers. Don't know if we'll see an all-out battle between the two Haas drivers. Or if team orders will prevail. Seems like we have lost visuals again, so let me know if you can see the stream or hear the stream. But unfortunately we're having some technical issues tonight. Madwell still leads the way, lap 9 of 36. Afro in P2, and that gap is now crucially starting to come down. Remember, it was 6.3 seconds. Now just 5.9 coming down. Seems like we may be having the same problem again. Please just bear with me for a minute while I try and sort this out. I'll be back in just a minute.